On the table today at Squirrel Stampede, may the 4th be with you. So say we all, let's get to this review.
What?
We are looking at 25th anniversary items for Star Wars The Phantom Menace. How has it been 25 years? I've got my original LEGO system, Sith Infiltrator, on the table to compare up with the brand new LEGO Star Wars Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator 25 years into the future. Also, we have a box of vintage but new Phantom Menace figures to check on through, and the Gungan Sub from the Galaxy Squadron. What's the sad story I hold in my heart about the Gungan Sub? Follow along and I'll let you know. So Phantom Menace items aplenty on the table. Let's celebrate the 4th and get these sets built.
Squirrel Stampede!
Please like,
Share! And Squirrel Live!
I can't believe I still have my original LEGO system, Sith Infiltrator.
Yeah!
Just kidding, I keep everything. There it is in all its glory. What, 1999 knocking down Qui-Gon? The LEGO, quote, system, Sith Infiltrator, set number 7151, a 4-number set containing 243 pieces, and one of the first series sets of the Star Wars LEGO series. I'm old, they don't build them like they used to, for sure. Less pieces, and they would even give you suggestions for other builds. I don't think they do that anymore with the Star Wars. And look how crunchy this is. Old school LEGO, it's even hollow. You can see right through it. And look at the landing struts. They're so old school, it's absolutely amazing. Just a couple cylinder beams connected together there. What a build. LEGO minifigure Darth Maul sitting up on top with a hood and cape. I have a couple builds with this Maul figure, so I'm not sure if it came with this set or if it was the other one from the same era. But still looking so classic. And he is standing on a secret compartment. Secret compartment! Inside he's got 3 of those little spy droids. Oh, so basic. And oh, another lightsaber. That's probably the other guy's saber. And in the back of the ship we could load up his speeder. Kind of a cool 2-in-1 option. Using the speeder fitting inside the cockpit of the ship, locking him down inside for flight. I just can't get over how lovely and simplistic old school LEGO is. 243 pieces, right? Builds all of this. Whereas the same thing now is going to be at 640 pieces. And that would explain why the old school build manuals are like, what, 5 pages? They are so clean and quick. This is the type of build you can throw down your stairs, rebuild it, and have a ton of adventures. There's even like a Darth Maul mini comic back here, which is such a time capsule. And there he is with his ship. I think somehow it gets blown up and he has to look at their other build options for this set. They just don't do that anymore. And look, you can even build his double-bladed lightsaber. I mean, it's got everything in here. It is so much fun. So we got this old school, now we can build new school. What's with that vulture droid back there? So for 25 years of LEGO Star Wars, we get the rebuild of the classic Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator. It's sleek and smooth, it certainly looks lovely, but I don't know. When you start picking up the old school yellow-faced LEGO minifigure Star Wars characters, you just flash back. So this is set number 75383. What a huge number compared to the other. Now that they seem to release a LEGO set every second. Something I also miss about the old your days was you actually had a chance to catch up with your LEGO builds. Now it's like, don't even try. For the 25th, we do have an exclusive minifigure, Saw Gerrera. Funny, I always thought it was Saul, not Saw. So that's kind of a fun throw-in. Back of box, things going on, somewhat similar to before where we do have Maul on his speeder inside the cockpit. Now we're firing projectiles, of course. I still see a hidden compartment for some of those droids. Inside the box, instruction booklet, knocking down a battle droid. Look at there. Back to this book. Look at the book now. Before we had just a small little pamphlet. Now we're just building and building and building all these micro pieces that modern sets have. Love it or hate it, when I go back to my late 90s sets, I just always flash back to good times. Bag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7 will build you up a modern Sith Infiltrator. Kind of feels like they overbagged. I think they could have probably put some pieces back into previous bags. Gone down to 5 would have been more efficient. Before we build though, shall we check out our first retro Star Wars The Phantom Menace action figure from Kenner, of course. This box over at Target, if you look for it, honestly retailing fairly well at $60, considering you're getting 6 figures. I think that turns out pretty well. Or was it $70? Both of these I think are running around $70. Okay, who do we start? Who are we pulling out first? I'm just gonna kind of grab miscellaneous. I don't know. It's Jar Jar. Oh, I'm so sorry. What I love about the retro collection is kind of the same thing I love about the retro Lego system back there, is the simplicity of it. There is something really fun about a retro figure with less articulation and a little less sculpt that makes them more fun and playable sometimes. Maybe they're zanier, maybe they're sillier, I don't know. I just find them fun. So there's Jar Jar. So back to build. Somewhere bag 1. There's a bag 1. Hardly anything in bag 1. Probably pieces of Maul and his little speeder. I like how all the minifigures back there have fallen down. The Phantom Feint, we like to call it. The Phantom Feint. Well, let's construct up what we have in bag 1. Alright, so now my back hurts after building all these little spy droids. They're each built with up to 7 pieces. I kinda like the old school. Did they really need to go that far with these? My goodness. And honestly, they don't really look like what they looked like back in the day either still. I think this was a better representation. As for Darth Maul, there's a handsome fellow. For surely playing off the more modern design we've seen the last 5 years or so. He has quite the intense face there, really staring us down. A little bit different than the other modern Maul I have from, I think that was a Phantom Menace Final Battle set from a couple years back with Qui-Gon and this Obi-Wan. Don't ask me yet about the pain I have of the original Obi-Wan minifigure. And then we have his banana chair bike, I like to call it. And to have him sit on this, I guess you have to use hands. There is no plug-in for his body, locking him down there. Certainly more detailed than this dusty old relic, but again, I will choose old over new any day when it comes to this series of figure. Fun to see modernized though. Now we can build into bag 2. Or do I discuss the bad flashback memory I have of the Gungan Sub and Obi-Wan Kenobi? No, we'll hold off on that and talk about that in a little bit. Let's continue to build the backbone of our Sith Infiltrator. Believe it or not, this right here, all these pieces for this would actually probably construct this. Can you believe that? All these pieces here would build this, and only like a fraction of that. And all the minifigures back there are still suffering from the Phantom Feint. Well, okay, let's build up the second stage. So we have the backbone of Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator canoe constructed. You can certainly see how modern LEGO is so much more of a model, like a one-time model build. How am I supposed to build anything else but the Sith Infiltrator? Whereas with the old LEGO system, I could certainly take all these larger bricks and things and really do construct something else out of. Kind of an interesting analysis we're going through today. I would also say that this probably took me just the same amount of time it would take to build that one back there almost. Oh, we got bag 3 to add on. Shall we discuss my thoughts on this Gungan Sub? No, not yet. Let's pull another figure from the retro box. Who am I gonna pull? From the retro box, it is a battle droid. Sweet. Remember back in the day when they overproduced Phantom Menace toys and they were like $1 a piece? Because stores had so many, and I picked up at least 6 battle droids of different configuration, and here we have a retro battle droid. Oh man, I thought I was gonna open these, but now I don't know. I like displaying these also on the wall, and oh look, they still have the card cutout still attached. So I don't know, I may display these, I may take them out. These are looking actually not as retro too. Both Jar Jar and the battle droid are just super detailed for supposedly trying to be like a 70s, 80s retro figure. I think the other few figures will start feeling more retro. A battle droid is tricky to do since it's mechanical. Alright, we can get back to building the Sith Infiltrator canoe, I will say. So many tiny pieces! And we're gonna see Qui-Gon. We're gonna see a modern Qui-Gon here. Let's check him out. Now, I almost wish they went with the 25th anniversary yellow heads for just this series. I like what they're doing with the fabric shawl. I said that very Christopher Walken-like. The fabric shawl versus the cape. There we go. And the modern lightsaber. Is not as shiny as they used to be. And it's our desert Tatooine walkabout Qui-Gon. Wow, talk about your high detail. There's even a little bit of gray in his beard. Maybe he spent some time at a Coruscant salon and got himself some highlights. That's really impressive, actually. I'm quite stunned at the level of detail. Is that like the original hairpiece, though? It's probably. This one's got a little bit of blue sticky in there. So we continue on with that hairpiece, but wow, under cloth. If a windstorm would pick up on Tatooine there, that's what he looks like under the shawl there. Got his Jedi robes and a printed pants piece there with the robing going down. Oh, and that's kind of what they were doing with that previous Qui-Gon. I think, again, this one came with that Obi-Wan back there at a final duel set from a couple years back. So I think they're kind of reusing some things, and now I've got them really confused. But obviously, Windy Shawl, Qui-Gon there. 5 years ago, so Qui-Gon, and then, of course, 25 years ago. How is this figure 25 years old? How has that happened? Well, now we can construct up another layer of Infiltrator sandwich. I am glad that it is radically different than the original. It makes this so much more of the fun. And it's almost like we've constructed a miniature Venator. It has the shape of a Star Destroyer. Shape, body, look at that. Venator style with the red even. Although the pink and the green make me think this dude. But now we're jumping themes, so I gotta get back to the build. Bag 4. Am I only on bag 4? I still have 4 more bags to go with bag 4 starting that off. Let's take a moment and pull another retro. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be Queen Amidala. I'm Queen Amidala. No, I'm Queen Amidala. Surprise! It is me, Queen Amidala retro figure. In probably the most iconic dress of the movie. We saw this oh so much 25 years ago, plastered on everything from Taco Bell to toilet paper. She was on everything. And looked good too. It is certainly one figure I like to see in retro. And again though, they're a little bit over-designed for trying to be a retro figure, methinks. I would have liked to have seen a little more simplicity on her, but still quite fun. Yeah, it's going to be a tough call. I'm either going to open them all or keep them all shut. No, you did not see me playing with my dolls again. So bag 4 of construction. By now I would have probably built a couple Sith Infiltrators Classic. Don't see any minifigures in these bags. And so another bag built. Still feeling a little more Star Destroyer than Sith Infiltrator. Will bag 5 finally smooth some things out? We do get our first look at the Anakin Skywalker build though. He's gonna be all short and stumpy with scruffy desert hair. Now the best Anakin I can compare with is my original Naboo fighter, and that is also really, really dusty. Turn down the contrast there. Oh boy, there's a lot of dust on this thing. Displayed lengthy on my shelf. See if we can get Anakin out of here. I think he's gonna be really tall too. Anakin, a tall figure. Oh, okay, we'll get R2 out too. I don't think that's the original R2 actually. That may be an imposter R2 in my Naboo fighter. There we go. So yeah, a little taller. I mean, a little shorter, taller with the original. Obviously with flight helmet. I don't have a scraggly hair old school Anakin. Oh, the Phantom Feint. But we're looking good. We're looking good to having this figure in here. Whoop. As Qui-Gon and Anakin return to get surprised ambushed by Darth Maul. Oh, they're so yellow. They stand out a mile, don't they? Well, more building to do. Follow along as we continue on. We are certainly getting our money's worth with this build today. It is taking up a lot of minutes of build time, and it's an interesting build. I enjoyed all those flat quarter arcs at the back there. They seamlessly tile in together. Very low profile with this build too. Feels like they've squished and smooshed down the Infiltrator quite a bit. Lacks the thick scale of the old. Hope I can get this panel from flipping. It just wants to flip. Anyhow, moving on to bag 6. And before we get to 6, let's pull another figure from the all-famous retro box here, Kenner. And 3 figures left. It's gonna be none other than Obi-Wan Kenobi Retro. Now this one finally feels very retro. The others had such detailed faces. This one feels like something you could almost see from 30, 40, 50 years ago. Looking basic, even has that old school basic lightsaber look. I had a retro Luke out with his lightsaber, but he had dropped it behind Ultra Magnus. Good job, Luke. Aww. But yeah, the simplicity of these, they're so fun. Even has a little Padawan tail going down his shoulder. There's enough detail, but not super detail. And great card art for displaying on wall if you pin them up. And do we want to talk about the Gungan Sub yet? No, let's wait just a little more. So bag 6 today. Does it have the exclusive Saw Gerrera minifigure? I said Saw again, didn't I? Saw Gerrera. Nope. I think this is just pieces. Hoping we can start seeing the emergence of the side panels. I don't know if that's a bag 6 thing or a bag 7 thing, but still much to build. The price point is high on this, but the build time is as well, so it's balancing out a little bit. We're almost there, and it's still pretty low profile. Landing gear helps kind of fatten it up too. We've added a little belly under there, and finally fixed this hatch from flipping out on us. There is a little pressure latch. We squeeze in this way or that way, this way, and it should drop our panel. I don't know the long-termness. It's using one of those rubber pieces, and right now it is crunched. So when the Phantom Menace 50th anniversary comes around and you want to ask me how this flange here is doing, if it's dried out or if it's just so stuck, squished that it doesn't even work anymore, ask me then, we'll figure that out. Oh, but we're so close now, we're so close. So close for my story about the Gungan Sub. There should be 2 retro figures left. Who will it be? Let's mix them up. Ruin their card art. Darth Maul. The ship we're building for. A retro Maul. You know, the body is total retro with the 5-point articulated body, but the heads keep looking a little bit too modern. They could go a little more simplistic in their design. That or Darth Maul has such an iconic face, whatever you're gonna do, you know it's Darth Maul right away. I like what they did with the double-bladed lightsaber. It's just a very bright neon stick there. That's gonna work perfect for retro collectors. I don't know, I might have to go back and get another one of these boxes if they're still around so I could have some cased and some uncased. I like the look of these boxes. I hate to destroy. So our final bag. Bag 7 is here, and we'll get that 25th anniversary Saw Gerrera, which really does not feel like it fits at all in this series. I don't know who chose what and why. I would have much rather just had some sort of classic Qui-Gon or something, even though we have one today. Like a figure from the Phantom Menace that they never did. Someone in the background, classicized. That would have been more fun for 25 years of Star Wars. As the Saw Gerrera fandom scream at me, good looking suit print, me thinking pulled from Rogue One? Or was this pulled later? I think this is Rogue One style, right? Yeah, the print is even on his shoulder pads there. Repeated. Got 2 faces. One face with teeth, the other face just kind of plain. And well, oh, we have a nice hood. I forgot to place that on. Does that go under the football pads or just under the head? Hairpiece and stickly staff walking stick thing. Oh, and with these we get special display bases. How about that? The Phantom Feint over there. And there, 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. I see why. This is more celebrating 25 years of LEGO Star Wars versus 25 years of Phantom Menace. Both 25 years as LEGO jumped on board with Star Wars just when Phantom Menace came out. But this figure doesn't really feel specific to Phantom Menace. The display pad does match with the 20th. And these figure pads are kind of close in style there, so that's kind of a cool thing for those ultra collectors of figure. So finally, let's finish this build. Let's finish this build of this very fancy infiltrator. And there it is, constructed, the modern 25th anniversary Sith Infiltrator, looking good. I'm trying to decide first where to put these panels. Do they go up a little higher? They're pretty high on the box art. I wonder if these are adjustable in flight. I don't really recall that being a highlight at all. Okay, that looks a little better now. Straightening them out, although now it doesn't land very well. You need to kind of tuck them in if you want the lower body to fit on its belly. So this ship gives a ton of mileage in its build. It took quite a while to build. That always takes me a little longer when I'm going on camera. I like the mileage they're going to get out of these roller skates too on the sides there. Darth Maul has a pair of roller skates down there. Don't recall that from the movie. It's got a really interesting cockpit opening backdrop thing going. We really just get a very short view of it in movie, but this is fun. This is fun and interesting. So pull back this back wall here, and it builds kind of like a little step for Maul. Lift up the top here too, and then rotate out these side wings, and then Maul can back up his little banana car. That's a pretty intricate little system. Inside you got his controls there. Pretty intricate though. Fits him in just like the original, kind of same type of thing, and it's been fun to see in modern build. As for the spy droids, both top and bottom panels were quite annoying in build. Like the bottom panel always wanted to pop out. The top panel you always wanted to accidentally press in. But I think we're now set to load them in. And now the flat rounded design of these pods also make a little more sense. So we lift up this panel here and we can place these in. I'm going to put the red eye forward. But by being a flat panel on the side, they'll just slide perfectly in file. May have dropped that one kind of funky. Close that up, it won't squeeze down anymore, which is helpful. And then when Maul wants to deploy his droids, where's the lever? We pull this lever just slightly forward into this squished bumper that will not last 25 years, and thus dropping them out. Did I drop two? Where's the other one? There we go. We'll call him Slow Stuff. So fun little feature there. Lock our panel back down. All around though, a really solid build. Does take you some time, so it makes up for that pretty hefty price point. It's just going to be a model of Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator. I'm not going to be able to take this apart. It's going to stick and stay in this form pretty much forever. I'll have to find a place to shoehorn it in to the collection. It's spectacular looking, but it is just that, a giant model. That's how a lot of these sets are turning out to be these days versus build other things out of them. And so bringing in the old for a quick side-by-side. It might be dust, but I feel like a little bit of discoloration in the gray tile work on this bumpy old classic Sith Infiltrator. But oh, nothing beats the old. It is so classic. I like the blue tiles too. For sure clunkier, a little taller, a little thicker. It's not as streamlined as this one. This one will fly through a cloud real fast. This one will probably break apart. But there's 25 years of difference in builds. A lot more micro, smaller tile pieces in this day and age. And now from the reverse sides of the two. Pretty interesting now how the use of more flat tiles and layering hides so many more of the studs, giving the new such a more sleek appearance. But I'm old school, I really like the studs. It feels way more Lego-like that way. And so one final retro figure and then a story about the Gungan Sub. Qui-Gon's here. Qui-Gon was the one that really sold this set of the retro collection to me because of his cloth Jedi robe. I just thought, wow, that feels so old school in a way. It's kind of fuzzy. Seems like something you would see on a Jawa. Bright green lightsaber. And maybe out of all of them, I finally found a retro face that I really like the most. Feels like something you would see a long time ago in a far, far toy aisle. So there's the retro carded Qui-Gon. Very fun with the retro collection. And almost a more reasonable price point than that Sith Infiltrator. Okay, our final thing to share and show of today of the 25th anniversary stuff out there, and there's other things you will find. I did pick up the Micro Galaxy Squadron Gungan Bongo submarine. Oh, I never knew the second name though, the Bongo submarine, that's funny. I actually had the LEGO Gungan Sub from 25 years ago too, but I had something tragic happen to the minifigures. I had popped out, I believe Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Jar Jar came with the original LEGO Sub, and I took those 3 figures to a fine restaurant for fine fun play while I was waiting for fun, and well, on the way out of the restaurant, I somehow lost Obi-Wan. I had double checked, I had made sure they were deep in a pocket. By the time I got home, I had lost my original Obi-Wan Kenobi figure about 24 years ago. And so it just soiled the set. It soiled the Gungan Sub set. I kept it for another 5, 8, 10 years maybe. And every time I looked at it, missing the Obi-Wan minifigure, I was so sad. So eventually, I sold it at a garage sale for like $20, which also haunts me to this day. I'm like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just keep it and then find a reissue or someone else's figure and place Obi-Wan in? Oh, this is a nice sub. So there is my tale of the Gungan Sub. I would have shown it today too, along with the Interceptor and original Naboo fighter, which is missing a few extra more pieces than the Infiltrator. I think the only piece I'm missing off the Infiltrator is one of those landing struts. Maybe something going on with a side wing. Okay, how do I get all this out? Now to redeem the Gungan Sub for Micro Squadron, it's a pretty good deal. It's only running 20, which usually for this scale and size of a Micro Squadron is a pretty good deal. Ah. Although I'm noticing right now, this is just really weird, there should be 3 micro figures associated with this set. Jar Jar Binks, of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and where is Qui-Gon? So now, instead of missing an Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm missing a Qui-Gon. Why did they not include a Qui-Gon? That is so bizarre. That is so weird. The 3 of them go on such an important adventure in this ship, it makes no sense why they missed him. So that's an odd thing. I'm going to have to look around and see if there is a Galaxy Fighter, Micro Galaxy Qui-Gon out there somewhere. I might have something left over from Micro Machine days. How does this go? Alright, does this like rotate while it does. Oh, beautiful. So we've got a rotational fin system, and this thing is just as cool as it appeared in the movie. It's very flippy. It's got kind of a rigidness to it, but it's so long that it kind of gives it a little bit of a shake, as if you were underwater in a way. Nice little transparent piece of plastic on the back there. And we can place on this triangular base. And we should be good to go, if it fits on the triangular base. Oh, that was so sketchy. So this thing can actually hold up to 7 minifigures. That's quite fun. Oh shoot, which side was Jar Jar on? I think he was on this side, right? Oh man, I gotta rewatch. Get Obi-Wan in there. I know Qui-Gon, I'm pretty sure, was in the back row, as he said all the quick one-liners as they kept getting into more and more trouble. Funny, what I didn't like about the LEGO version years ago was they had 3 pits. You would place a minifigure in each one, just 3 people. That bothered me they weren't together, but now that I see the extra pods here with seats, it doesn't really bother me as much. I guess I'm just gonna have to go on the old eBay or a Bricklink or something and pick up a reissue or an old version. I know there's a reissue coming, or did it appear already? I don't know. But that is my tale of the Gungan Sub. This is a great little Micro Galaxy Squadron version, which are really fun. I've always been into the Micro Galaxy Squadrons and the old school Micro Machines action fleets. So that is a few select items for Star Wars The Phantom Menace on the table today. I really enjoyed catching up with the old and new Sith Infiltrators. What do you think? And how about those vintage figures? They were pretty fun too. If you liked today's video, please give us a squike, Squirrelive, squam at your favorite Phantom Menace moment of the past 25 years. Were you there? Did you ever shake Darth Maul's hand? Did you get your hand sliced off by a lightsaber? Things like that. Thank you so much for watching. That's what I have to say about that.